What's going on, guys? Shrugbuzglow here, back to tell you about another famous video I'm going to be doing.
That concludes my April Fool's Day prank. As everyone knows, April 1st is the most serious day of the year. I will not be the April Fool. I will not allow myself or anyone to become the April Fool. So I 100% seriously, this is not a joke, I'm not joking. This is going to be me talking about the weapons that we see in the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. Currently there are only 3 firearms that we've seen, though I will talk about other weapons, but like the thing with GTA 6 is like all of this, we don't have any gameplay, so I can't confirm if anything's gonna show up, and anything could change at any point. Okay, so the first weapon that we see kind of appears to me like a SIG P226. You know what? Actually, hang on. That might be a 1911. That might not be a SIG P226. Genuinely changing my mind while looking at this. I can see a little bit of the slide contour at the front. So to me, that appears like a 1911. So we have another image of a 1911 in the hands of the male protagonist in the game. What appears to me to be a 1911. And then we also have, it's really hard to say what's in the hands of the female protagonist. So I just sat here for 8 minutes looking at this in 4K, trying to determine what this pistol is, okay? And to me, it most closely resembles, it appears to be a SIG P320 slide on a Glock frame. There could be a shadow on the slide that's making it appear as though it has those SIG 320 style cuts that make it contour inward near the top. I can't be 100%. It looks Glock-esque. I would like for them to just make a choice on what they're going to go with. Is it going to be a Glock? Is it going to be a SIG? Is it going to be an HK USP was my first guess, honestly, but that's clearly wrong. This is clearly more Glock-esque. You can tell partially under the dust cover there is a serialized component. That white part under the dust cover is the metal serialized strap. They may have designed a Glock and just done some contours to make it appear legally distinct so that they don't have to pay the Glock brand. I think that this is blatantly too close to a Glock to dodge any legal distinction. I'm gonna be real. Glock probably will come for them if they were to release this, and likely win the trial. I think they shouldn't do any half measures. They should either decide that they're going to go with the Glock, pay the Glock Corporation for the license to use the Glock, or alternatively, pick a different design. Pick the P320, pick the USP, pick something else, and just go with it. So another weapon that does not appear in the trailer, however it appears in the promotional art for the trailer, is the Beretta M9, which was the standard pistol in GTA 5, and I believe this one is just based off of that same design. That same sort of stylized M9. Beretta 92 FS, M9, very similar, same deal. However, much like GTA 5, promotional art is nothing to go off of. It doesn't mean that it's been modeled in the game or anything like that. It's just promotional art. It's two-dimensional. It doesn't mean anything, really. But I figured I should mention it since someone's going to mention it. And then here, from the same frame that we saw earlier, we have what appears to be basically an M4. Presumably this is Grand Theft Auto, so I'm assuming it's going to be a full auto assault rifle. Basically, we can assume it's going to be similar to the carbine assault rifle that was in GTA 5, but with more of a modern appearance. For the last firearm, I do have to mention, I think we see in this scene, I can't quite tell, it could be like an antenna or something, but to me this looks like somebody is holding a long gun, a shotgun of some kind, hunting shotgun or a bolt-action rifle, out on the airboat. So, yeah. And last, for weapons that do appear in the trailer, I can't be like, 100% that this is going to appear. But obviously there's the hammer granny. And she has a pair of little carpenter's hammers in her hands. So the idea we could be seeing a carpenter hammer appear as a melee weapon in the game. There's lots of different things that you could hit people over the head with. I'm not going to talk about melee weapons in the game. I'm going to be like, oh, we're going to have a knife, we're going to have a bat, we're going to have this, that. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. They're all going to be things you swing at people's heads, and It's not going to change the gameplay very much, so I'm not going to talk about that. This is just something that I had to bring up because it does appear in the trailer. I'm going to quickly talk about the weapons that I would like to see take up the normal archetypes that appear in GTA 5 for the more modern GTA 6. The first one that I'm going to talk about is going to be the Chiappa Rhino. This is a 6 o'clock bore precision 357 Magnum revolver. They do make them in 9mm, but for the sake of the game, it would be 357 Magnum. It's a powerful handgun that could behave as the sort of hand cannon, the final handgun unlock. I think that would be cool. We don't really need to talk about any other handguns because the trailer already covered a lot of different potential handguns. Moving on to submachine guns, the previous game had launched with the MP5 and the Mini Uzi and a sort of... I don't think it's unreasonable that the game would reuse these submachine guns because these submachine guns are still in fair use within police and criminal circuits. However, if they were to use more modern weapons to represent these same concepts, the SIG MPX and the CZ Evo 3A1 Scorpion, which is like their modern thing. It just takes the name of the Scorpion but has nothing in common with the Scorpion, would be the obvious choices to replace something like the MP5 and to replace something like the Uzi, a MP9 or MP7.
I have an MP7.
Would be good choice. Probably out of the price range of your average criminal, though. If the criminals are more well connected, I don't know the lore. And for alternative submachine guns, obviously there's the Chris Vector and the P90. The P90 actually did appear in GTA 5. If you subscribe to the Rockstar Social Club back when online first came out, P90, if it had a traditional bullpup magazine system. I hope they don't do that. I kind of want, I like when they represent guns in a faithful manner, similar to how they did for Red Dead Redemption 2. Moving on to assault rifles, we've already talked about the M4. Additionally, there is almost 99% chance that an AK of some kind is going to appear in the game. I have no idea what AK and what iteration. Could be a Chinese, could be a Russian, could be a Yugoslavian M70. I don't know. I just kind of assume there will be an AK. And when it comes to other potential rifles, the previous game launched with the Tavor as the advanced rifle. It's not unreasonable that the Tavor could return. There's plenty of other options. I think the HS product VHS is probably the coolest looking, like, modern space age assault rifle. So there's always the HS product VHS2. But as well, for like a battle rifle, they had the Scar Heavy in the original GTA 5 files that never ended up getting added until very late into the online lifecycle. And I think that would be pretty cool. As well, there is my favorite rifle, always going to bring it up, the AUG, my favorite assault rifle, Army Universal Rifle. That's what AUG stands for in German, translated to English. Now on to shotguns, and the first shotgun I'm going to talk about is going to be the Mossberg Shockwave or Remington TAC-14, which could appear easily as the sawed-off shotgun, in a sense. This is very modern. It's essentially a legal loophole. It's very compact, uses this bird's head style grip system, and I just think it would be cool. It would show that they kind of know what they're talking about when it comes to short-barrel shotguns, although people are still going to cut down shotguns, so it's not unreasonable that a criminal would be using just a regular shotgun that they sawed off. These usually hold between like 4 to 5 rounds in the magazine, and then onto like a larger shotgun. I showed before a Remington 870 as the like hunting shotgun that I speculated on. There could always be that. There could also be, say, a Benelli Supernova is possible. It could be cool, but it's all speculative. Late into GTA 5's life cycle, they did add the SPAS 12, and I think that would be cool, especially because the game takes place in Florida, similar to Vice City, in which the SPAS 12 did appear. And the last shotgun I'm going to suggest is, of course, the Origin 12. The Origin 12 would make a perfect final unlock shotgun, similar to the Assault shotgun that appeared at the end of GTA 5's campaign, though the Assault shotgun was based off of a hybrid of like the AA-12 and the UTS-12 as well. I mean, alternatively to the Origin 12, they could just add the AA-12. The AA-12 would be very cool, but unlike the AA-12, the Origin 12 actually exists in numbers greater than like 20. I don't know how many AA-12s are out there, but there's not many, whereas the Origin 12 is a currently produced firearm. Next is going to be the precision rifle sort of category, the like snipers, I guess you would say. And the main one that I'm going to suggest is going to be the Barrett MRAD, which is basically their modern iteration of their M98B. It was recently adopted as the Mark 22 sniper by the United States military in .338 Norma Magnum. And I think like, you combine the fact that the United States military is currently using it, as well as the fact that it's just a really cool looking modern tactical sniper, I see no reason why they shouldn't use it. Though the rifle that I showed previously was the Remington 700, and the Remington 700 is an extremely popular bolt-action rifle, very popular in both hunting and military circuits. It was used by Chris Kyle, the Mark 13 rifle system, which is a 300 Winchester Magnum Remington 700 base action, which was, and I believe still somewhat is, popular among police. Next is going to be sort of a designated marksman's rifle, and I think the best bet for that is going to be something like a Knights Armament Company SR-25. I think it's cool, it's big and modern and tactical, though the Scar Heavy could also appear here, as the Scar 20 is the sniper iteration of the Scar system. Something that I think would appear as the most interesting for a precision rifle would be the M14 in like an EBR stock or something, which I do think... No, it was the Mini 14 that appeared in GTA 5, though the M14 I think would make more sense, as it is, like, actually, there are M14s that are precision rifles, whereas the Mini 14 is more of a, like, ranch rifle. And last is going to be sort of like an anti-material rifle role, and it's basically taking up the same role of, like, the heavy sniper rifle, I think it was in GTA 5, and that's going to be the M107 Barrett anti-material rifle. The Barrett M107 is the replacement to the Barrett M82, which was basically the Barrett 50 cal. That's what everybody called it. It was the 50 cal anti-material rifle in the United States military. As well, though, alternatively, there is the more modern, more tactical looking GM6 Lynx, which is a 5-shot semi-auto 50 cal bullpup anti-material rifle, which is awesome. And finally, getting into the special weapon. First one is going to be the obvious RPG-7. The RPG-7 is, of course, the main Soviet rocket launcher. I believe this has appeared in every GTA game, if not at least a rocket launcher of some kind has appeared. The RPG-7 is mainly used in Soviet-influenced countries, or from that time period, Soviet-influenced countries. Rocket launchers usually aren't going to be the RPG-7 in Western society. They are going to usually be more something along the lines of the Carl Gustav M4 recoilless rifle. There's many different launchers that exist. I'm not super well versed on launchers, so please forgive me. Next is going to be the obvious famous minigun. The minigun, was it like 5,000 rounds per minute? Basically, you need to be the Hulk himself in order to properly wield this thing. So obviously, it's not realistic that it'll appear, and I've heard a lot of people saying, like, the GTA 6 is going to be more realistic, similar to Red Dead 2, and I really hope it's not, because the ability to wield, like, a minigun or a rocket launcher, whip those things out of your ass, is that is GTA to me. That is the goofy fun of GTA, and I think if they were to remove that, it would be foolish. I don't know who said this, so I don't know if this is true. I hope that's not true. Next is going to be the Milcor MGL. There's tons of different grenade launchers again, but the Milcor MGL, it was in GTA 5, it just makes sense to bring it back for GTA 6. Though, alternatively, Rheinmetall also makes a magazine-fed 40mm grenade launcher. That is a more modern grenade launcher, and there's also the Inkunze PA, PA standing for Personal Assault Weapons System, and that is a 20mm rotary drum magazine-fed grenade launcher, which is pretty cool. And finally is going to be a weapon that doesn't appear in GTA 5. When I saw Red Dead Redemption 2 and its insanely cool fire spread mechanics, it's just it would be crazy to me if they didn't add a flamethrower to GTA 6. I'm pretty sure they appeared in Vice City. I know they appeared in San Andreas. It would be awesome. Just bring it back. Just bring back the flamethrower. I don't care. Put the flamethrower in GTA 6. Do it. China, I believe, has a modern flamethrower called like the Type 02C. Of course, there's tons of different civilian and military flamethrowers from throughout history. I don't know. Flamethrowers, you could probably add a generic one and I wouldn't notice, so it doesn't matter. That is going to do it for the GTA 6 weapon roundup based off of Trailer 1 and my own speculation. Please leave in the comments weapons that you would like to see in GTA 6, and I will talk about them in a future video. I am still going to do the Stalker 2 follow-up video. I just decided to do this one first. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and have a good day.